My word of the year. Every year I choose a word that I'm going to focus on and live by and pretty much. And today, the word of the year for 2023 is Phoenix. Stick with me and find out why. This is our journey. Welcome to the Betancourt's homestead. Why would I choose the word of the year for me to be Phoenix? Usually when I'm choosing a word of the year, I am choosing a word that I'm going to focus on to bring me through the year, to focus on, like laser focus on a certain specific topic that is what I want to remember, what I want to remind myself of what I am. Like last year, it was perfect. Not that I am a perfect person, but that I was made perfectly in the image of God. I'm perfectly made. I'm perfect to go out and do the things that I need to do. Not because I'm going to do them perfectly. Oh no, we know I don't do them perfectly. But perfect was my word. I wanted to focus on the fact that, you know what? I've done it. I can do it. Grab it, seize it, take it, go. But this year, I chose a word differently. I chose the word Phoenix, like Phoenix rising, coming up out of the ashes. Because we've been through a little something here over the course of the 12 years we've lived here. And somebody once told me that you know you're healed from something when you can talk about that without blaming or condemning, but you can talk about it with empathy and compassion. And that's what we're going to get into right now. So yes, we have literally been through horrible situations on this land, in this community. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am 100% grateful for every single opportunity that I went through. Every single negative or mean thing that happened, I'm grateful for it because I learned so much about me than I ever would have learned had my world been great. I learned that other people can judge me, but it doesn't matter what other people think as long as I'm firm in my foundation of who I am and who God says I am. That's it. You can judge me all you want, but it doesn't matter because I know I'm a good person. I know my heart and I know my intentions. So, bye. Right? You can bully me all you want. Oh, and there have been some bullies. And you can be as mean to me and you can tell me I can shut up and that I'm not wanted here, which they have. You can say that all you want. But I know I am wanted here and I know that God wants me to be here because if he didn't want me to be here, I would have moved away by now or I never would have moved here. So knowing yourself well enough, best way to stand up to these things. And how do I know myself so well? Well, when you're judged and you're bullied in a community, you tend to retreat, or at least I did. And instead of retreating and doing the oh, poor is me and playing the victim game, I decided one day that I was going to stop. I wasn't going to be the victim. Nope, I am perfectly made just the way I am, which was perfect was the word last year that I chose, because I am perfectly made by God. And I just decided one day, no, if God made me perfectly for this time and he put me right here during this time, then they don't have a word over me. They can't tell me that I'm not wanted in a community. They can do whatever they want, but God is ultimately going to take care of them. I turned to reading books and bettering myself and figuring out a way that I could be in this community without really being in this community. Do you get my drift? Like, I literally had to think of how am I going to be productive in this community when every time I turn around, it's hard for me to do. I can't make a living. I actually, when I called to get work done on the house, like I was trying to find somebody to build the deck, and they literally, the construction people asked me where I was born, how long I've lived here, who my parents were, what their last names were, why I was here, and then they never called me back. Because I'm a non-local. I don't deserve to have them to work on my home. But here's what I found by doing that it made me reach out and branch out into other things and research why people are like that. And then in turn, research how I didn't want to be. Like, I don't want to be like that. So I'm going to be extra careful and conscious about not portraying that. And I'm going to go this way and portray grace and forgiveness and mercy. And that has helped me a ton. Like, evil people take great joy out of sucking the happiness out of nice people. I don't want to be an evil person. I want to be a nice person. But how do I be a nice person and not allow somebody to come and take my joy away? I protect myself just enough that they can't touch me. And how do I do that? By realizing I am enough. I am enough. I have a voice. I have a voice, and I have people out there in a community that I can talk to, which is why I picked social media back up. Ironically, this is not my first attempt at a YouTube channel. I had a YouTube channel several years ago, but my husband was being bullied at work, and it started coming home, and I took my channel down because I didn't want it to affect him at work. It's a small community, understandably. I thought I was doing good. I actually was not doing good. I allowed somebody to come into my space and remove me and my platform. I did it voluntarily. I removed myself. Now, I'm still struggling on monetizing my channel. I was monetized before I left. I was making an income. I shut everything down. So let's get back to the word Phoenix. Why did I choose Phoenix? Because I'm rising up again. And I want to remind myself that I am coming back, that I am not going to be stopped, that I am just going to be a force of nature, that with God by my side, I am going to soar into the clouds. What that looks like, it's drawn out. I have some plans. I've been working on them for quite some time, and I have not been talking about them out in public for several reasons. Recently, I had a friend or a acquaintance that lives here in this community. He's not from this community, and he told me of some things that happened to him, and it made me realize it's happened to me too. You see, he runs a business, and what's very common to have happen is a certain sector of people, when they see a successful business being run, they open their own competitive side of the business, to where it's just, they'll literally take a loss on their business until you're out of business, and then they jack up the prices for their business. But this guy was determined not to let that happen. More power to him. In fact, so much more power to him, I go with him no matter what when I need his services. But that same thing happened to me several times here. Whenever I started opening a business, somebody else would open it in this sector of people, and it would make it impossible for me to even operate the business. Which was probably the best thing in the entire world for me. To be honest with you, probably the best thing. Because now I'm not looking local. I'm not looking at doing something locally. I'm not looking for a storefront that people walk into. I'm not looking for tourist money or local money. I'm actually looking much bigger than that. Because in my world, there's room for everybody at the table. My dream would be to have a group of people, preferably women, that could sit around the table and brainstorm ideas for their business, like brainstorm what they're doing and how they're advertising and what they're creating, and literally just going at it and passing ideas back and forth and watching everybody's business grow like crazy. Because my business might be something totally different than somebody else's. They might need a totally different way of going about something. So we all can benefit together. We all can work together. But there are a certain sect of bullies in the community that want everything for themselves and want to destroy you in the process. So how do I go about opening this business without them destroying me? I just do it. I just go head first and do it. I become the best at what I'm doing, and I don't take I'm not good enough as a reason for quitting. And I don't listen to anybody else. They have no power over me. So why do I let people bully me when they literally have no power over me? I was bullied in high school and junior high and elementary school. I don't know why. I just was. And it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Why? Why? Because it taught me that bullies are just bullies. I had a female that bullied me so bad in high school. She was the popular kid. Everybody looked up to her. She was just amazing. I became a real estate agent, and I am like doing massive deals. I'm successful. And 20 years ago, I'm making 6 figures, and that was saying a lot for 20 years ago. And I go to meet a client at a restaurant. It's a little drive-in diner, 1950s style, and we just all loved it, and he had never been there, so I was meeting him there to sign documents and paperwork. Who's my waitress? My old bully in high school was my waitress. That couldn't have been better. She looked so embarrassed by waiting on me when she realized who I was. There's room at the table for everybody. We don't have to be, it's us versus them. Why can't it be all of us? Instead of the us versus them attitude, why can't we come along the table and say, you know what, that's a great idea. I'm going to use that part of that idea on my business, but then what about this idea for your business? Why can't we all join in on creating amazing businesses? That will never happen in my community because I cannot trust the people that live here because they have taken way too many of our ideas and ran way too many people out of business. And they take great joy out of doing it, and they're very public about it. And it's sad because we're missing a whole opportunity of being together and forming a bond of loving on people. There's a lot of judgment here, a lot of hatred. They don't want to see you succeed. And when you have that in a community, it's really hard to overcome it. But don't let it tear you down. Don't let it take you and push you into a corner to where you're so scared you don't even want to try anymore. That was me for a long time. Like, why even bother? Why even bother? Until one day I woke up and I was determined to be a better person. Not for them, for me. And I realized that in the process of being a better person, I wasn't going to be able to be that person in the community that I lived in. I was going to have to be that person online, which is why I reopened my YouTube channel. I named it something different and started over from scratch. The rules have changed, and I adopted to the rules, and I put it down for a while because why bother? And then I picked it back up, and then I put it down for a while because, well, why bother? Now I'm back. Why not? So I'm going to give you my all. You're going to watch me rise up above everything, and you're going to watch me continue to make the videos and show you things along the way. And if you don't like the things I'm showing you, you don't have to watch them. That's the beauty of the internet. You can click off and on whenever you want. But if you are interested in what I'm creating and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, I would love to have you join me. Because no matter what, you and I are connected because we're humans, we're people, we bleed the same, our blood is red, we're connected. And I care about you. And yeah, I really wish some of you were my neighbors to have coffee with. So while my community here doesn't necessarily want me here because I wasn't born here, you're my community. And I want you here. I value you in my community, or I wouldn't turn the camera on and invite you into my home. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of stuff to explore and a lot of things on the horizon. And I'm actually really excited. I'm excited to bring you along and to introduce you to TikTok and introduce TikTok to you. And Somehow figure out how we're going to get the Facebook people involved. I don't know, right? We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, I want you to know one thing. You matter. You, yourself, you matter. You are perfectly made, and you are going to survive no matter what you're going through. Your voice was given to you for a reason. And what you've been through, maybe you're not the victim. Maybe you went through it on purpose so that you could turn around and help the other people going through it succeed. So take the past that you have, the stories that are lingering behind you, pack them all up, work through them, and bring them along for the ride. Not because you want to hold on to them like a crutch, but because you want to share them in a way that will help other people that are in the midst of the storm figure out how to swim and not drown. Thank you very much for coming along with me. There's more to come. Bye, you guys. Oh, like, subscribe, smash the notification bell, do all that stuff. I appreciate you being here.